So I wanted to make a video addressing a couple things. First and foremost, the whole point of this video, am I actually homeless? Am I just making this up for clout, money, or, fucking sympathy? Well, I think first to address that, we have to agree on what you define as homeless. One could argue that I own a truck with a topper, or even really any vehicle that's enclosed could be considered a home. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're able to, you should absolutely be living in a home that doesn't move, is on a foundation and has four walls, or at the very minimum sits on wheels but doesn't self-propel. Now, that isn't really an option for me right now, for a number of reasons I'm going to touch on. The first and foremost is, as I said, I'm out of work right now, which is part of the reason I'm trying to pick up YouTube so you can give me your money. No, I'm doing this for fun. Monetization's a byproduct and a secondary, and if I'm not able to do it, that's okay. I do work on occasion when there is work to be had, but mostly odd jobs for local guys that just need a hand. For instance, today I have a friend who I'm going to go help her wash her walls, if you know what I mean. But no, I'm going to go help her bleach her walls for her house. Her apartment inspection's coming up. So I do work, but it's just intermittent right now. So I have a little income, not a whole lot, but I am trying to monetize so that I can kind of supplement that sum. And the good news of it is that doesn't have anything to do with you. All it involves is watching my videos and maybe subscribing. Actually, I need as many people to subscribe as possible because nowadays YouTube won't let you monetize if you have under 30,000 subscribers, apparently. So, moving on from that, am I actually homeless? Well, I live inside in a vehicle. I have a sleeping bag and a pillow. I have food and water and a dog and, all sorts of other cool stuff. But I think I would fit the definition there. A lot of guys will say, if you didn't want to live like this, and I do, but if I didn't want to, why not just move in with a friend or move back home with your mom or someone? Well, there's a number of reasons for that. First and foremost, I don't like putting people out. I don't like being a burden. I don't want to have to ask a friend, hey man, can I come crash? I did that for a little bit here. It worked out great. They ended up having a family member have to move in, so I had to move out. No big deal. We still hang out pretty often, and I have shower and laundry privileges over there as well. They let me come over pretty much whenever I need to bathe and use the laundry. They're really awesome people. Which, if you do end up in this situation, absolutely network. Find someone, hey man, is it cool if I come over today and use your shower or your washing machine? If you know them well enough, or if they're just a decent person, they'll probably say yes, but you got to be trustworthy. Make sure that they don't even think you're up to some shady shit or trying to take advantage, okay? Well, why don't I just move back in with my mom? Well, for one, my mom is 1,600 miles away, right? Now, I have no doubt old Smokey here to make it. The problem therein is that it's a lot of money to get there, especially with a truck with a 302 and a 4-speed. This thing burns gas like nothing, right? Now, gas is pretty cheap right now. If I were going to go, now would be the time. But that comes down to a sort of intangible factor. I don't like the term pride, but if I go back home to mom, I'm kind of giving up, and then I can't bring you guys content anymore, even if it is just shitty videos of me rambling in my truck. And don't worry, this week I am going to have some actual bushcraft tutorials and stuff. I'm going to touch on one I like is a Dakota fire. If you're living on the street, fire, especially in the north where it gets cold at night, is a necessity. Well, quickest giveaway for the cops or for someone to come mess with you, there's a fire. There must be someone camping over there. And even if they don't think that, how'd this fire start? We can have a brush fire on our hands. And a Dakota fire mitigates all of those because it's extremely difficult to start a fire with a sunk fire pit if you're careful about it. And it's also almost completely concealed. So I'm going to go all the way into that. Should be one of the next videos I'm posting. So, but hey, am I homeless? Well, I mean, you could argue that my home is in Arkansas where my mom lives. Well, yes, I don't have that option right now. My mother has asked me a few times, hey, move back in. Well, I don't really want to do that. There's a lot of different reasons. The first and foremost being, I like it here. There's not a whole lot of scenery where I'm parked right now, but if I were further up the hill, I have a great view of the Beartooths. I've got the Pryors down there. I got the Rimrock up here, Chief Joseph Battlefield's right up there too. There's all kind of cool shit. So, and that's all going to be featured on this page as well. So yeah, I would argue that I'm temporarily homeless. I prefer the term long-term overlanding, which is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not, here completely by my own volition, but I'm also not here completely because I have to be. This is just kind of a choice I've made due to circumstance. So, again, to touch on the money thing, and I'm so thankful to everyone that's offered. As you've seen in recent comments on some of my videos, you know, folks calling me a scammer and shit. Well, what can you do about that? Now I'm going to clap back in the comments all I want because I think it's fucking funny, but I don't really care. At the same time, I don't want there to be any, again, like I said, any suspicions of shady shit going on here. I do have a Patreon, and usually what that does is put a little bit of gas money in my tank at the end of the month if I'm out. You know, I don't use that as a main source of income. I think I've only got one subscriber now. If you really feel like you want to help me out, Patreon's probably the best way to do it, although I'd prefer if you donated to maybe a charity or spent some volunteer time or something instead of giving me money. If you really feel like you want to, Patreon's in my page description. Again, not asking, you know, I'm not discouraging for sure, but I, you know, don't feel like I'm walking around with my hand out, because I'm not. Any case, so yeah, there's going to be some actual content coming up soon instead of just me talking, because let's be honest, although I have a sultry, you know, very beautiful voice and I'm very handsome to look at, obviously, that's not why you're here, right? If you were, this would be an OnlyFans, and I'd be doing a lot better. But anyway, so I guess just keep watching. I promise I've got actual shit coming. Probably today. Probably in the next few minutes now that I think about it. I've got some stuff I want to do. So, alrighty then. Bye.